Welcome to the WCG for day 2 of this first and only test match of the Harley Cranes Test Series between Brennan's 11 and Robbie's 11. 16 wickets fell on a pulsating opening day's play as this test match is moving forward at a rapid pace with half the test match already complete, and if yesterday's play is anything to go by, we may have a result by the close of play tonight. It is Brennan's 11 who entered day 2 well on top as they take a 52-run lead into this second day's play. Having been bowled out for 90 in their first innings, they ripped through the Reds in an amazing final session bowling effort to bowl them out for 38 and take this big lead into an important day of cricket. And although they did have the option to make Robbie's 11 follow on, they have opted to bat once again in the hopes of setting Robbie's 11 another mammoth target for victory. So it will be Hamid Basher who will get this innings underway for the Blues. Was dismissed for a duck in the first innings, batting at 3, and will be looking to do much better than that this time round to push his side's lead closer towards that 100 mark. So it will be Nathan Hancock who will bowl the first over for the Reds. Bowled beautifully in the first innings, picking up 2 for 5 of his 4 overs. As he's in now to Hamid Basher for the first ball of the innings. He's in now, and this one's a back of a length delivery, and this one strikes Hamid Basher on the elbow first up. So a good sign of intent there from the youngster as Basher cops one to begin with. Hancock to continue to Basher in the opening over. As he's in there, and this one's a good length delivery, and it's wide outside the off stump, and Basher leaves it alone. So the Blues enter this second innings in another commanding position. Early wickets is the key here for the Reds. Day 2 certainly needs to be their day as Hancock will continue to Basher as this one's a good length delivery which slides down the leg side. Here the Reds again chasing history to win a test match at the WCG. No side has successfully chased down a target to win a test match at the WCG in over 2 years. As Hancock will bowl again now to Basher as this one goes right through Hamid and nearly knocks over his castle. Nearly the ideal start there for young Hancock, not far away. Naught for naught as will be Michael Johnson bowl the second over of the innings. As in now to Hamid Basher who gets an inside edge and drags it back onto his stumps. So that's the early breakthrough the Reds needed. Hamid Basher is dismissed for a pair in the test match, and the Blues are 1 for none. So just to start the Reds needed to this second day's play, as will be the youngster Daniel Hancock who will bat at 2 once again for Brennan's 11. Was dismissed for 4 in the first innings, and Robbie's 11 will be hoping they can pick him up cheaply once again. So it'll be Michael Johnson to bowl to Daniel Hancock for his first delivery, and he starts with an absolute shocker which sails over the youngster's head. So Brennan's 11 are away for their second innings as Hancock gets a sider first up. Johnson will continue to Hancock this time around the wicket. As in now, and it's a full delivery, and it's played back down the ground, and Johnson and Schaefer can't field. So Daniel Hancock is off the mark with a boundary, and that's a poor combined effort from 2 of the best in the backyard. It'll be Justin Brooke to bowl the 4th over of the innings. As he's in now to Daniel Hancock, and he starts with a wild delivery which slides down the leg side, and there's a nervous glance back towards the umpire who lets him off with a warning this time round. Brennan's 11 1 for 6 in their second innings, an overall lead of 58 runs, as Brooke will continue again now to Hancock as he's forward and defends on the leg side for no run. He's looked solid in defence so far in this test match, has the youngster. Just needs to learn to keep the ball on the deck when playing expansive strokes. As Brooke will continue to him now around the wicket. Oh, and there's another example of it as he's hit this one over the fence. So he's dismissed for 4 once again in the test match. Robbie's 11 have started the day brightly. The Blues 2 for 6. Brennan's 11 in early trouble in their second innings on day 2 as Josh Bolling walks to the crease at number 3 for the Blues. His side 2 for 6 with an overall lead of 58 runs. So it'll be Justin Brooke who has his tail up to bowl around the wicket to Bolling for his first delivery. As in now, and he gets a thick inside edge onto the fence as he'll move through for a single to get off the mark with his first delivery. It'll be a sigh of relief there for Bolling. He was dismissed for a duck in the first innings in controversial circumstances with a ball that appeared to strike his leg rather than his bat, and he'll be looking to make up for lost time to push his side lead towards that 100 mark. As Brooke will continue to him once again, and this one is a horrible delivery. Much like Juzzo's attempts at humour, this one lands far wide of the mark. So another one added to the Brennan's 11 score. Brennan's 11 lead by 61 runs. We arrive at the final ball of the 4th over as Brooke is into bowling, and he's forward and defends on the offside to Jake Casaccia to end the over. It will be Jake Casaccia to bowl the 5th over of the innings, as in now around the wicket 2 bowling, and he cramps him up for room as he plays out to Robbie on the leg side for no run. Bowling just looking to absorb the early pressure from the Robbie's 11 bowlers, who have been bang on the money so far on day 2. As Casaccia will bowl again now, 2 bowling, he gets a thick inside edge, and it beats the skipper there on the leg side for a boundary. There's a decent bit of bowling there from Casaccia, which goes unrewarded. Bowling moves to 5. Casaccia to continue 2 bowling in the 5th over, as in now, and he's back on the money, as that one's a beautiful reply there, and thankfully for bowling, it misses the edge of his bat. So this has been a pretty handy debut so far from Jake Casaccia. Top scorer in the first innings for Robbie's 11 has bowled well so far, as he's in now 2 bowling once again, and just as we sing his praises, he serves a full toss to bowling and he gets it away, as it's not the greatest bit of fielding there from Schaefer, who's usually reliable. Brennan's 11 2 for 17. Robbie will bowl now for the 6th over of the innings to Josh bowling, and a terrible bit of judgment there leads to the 3rd wicket down for Brennan's 11. Bowling has to go for 9 after a terrible misjudgment, as this ball crashes into his leg stump. The Reds are fighting back. Brennan's 11 3 for 17 in their 2nd innings, an overall lead of 69 runs, as that brings the vice skipper Matt White to the crease. And this is a key period of the test match here for the Reds. If they can pick up White cheaply, they'll feel they're right back in this contest. So it'll be Robbie to bowl over the wicket to Matt White for his first delivery. As in now, this one's a good length delivery, and this goes straight through White, as there's hands on heads there from several of the Robbie's 11 fieldsmen. Yeah, oh, this one sneaks past his legs. Well, that cannot have missed by much. Well, Basher to continue to White in the 6th over. As in now, this one's a shorter delivery, and there's another appeal here from the Robbie's 11 fieldsman, as there's an inquest to see whether this hit him on the hand or on the chest, and it's off the chest. Good decision. It'll be Daniel Arnold to bowl the 7th over of the innings. As in now to White over the wicket. This one's a good length delivery, and White has worn this on the body, so it's a torrid start to his innings, but he's standing tall so far to the Robbie's 11's onslaught. Here, this is a massive period of the test match, as Arnold will continue to White in the 7th over, and this one's another good length delivery, and this one jumps again at White, who leaves well. A brilliant contest at the WCG. Brennan's 11 lead by 71 runs. Daniel Arnold, the tall timber, will continue to White in the 7th over, as he's in now, and he's bang on the money once again, as White leaves this one outside the off stump once again. So Daniel Arnold bang on the money in this 2nd innings, as he was in the 1st. Was the pick of the bowlers for the Robbie's 11 juggernaut in that 1st innings, and is leading him again here in the 2nd. As he'll bowl again now to White, and he's full and straight, and White defends to end the over. It'll be Michael Johnson who'll bowl the 9th over of the innings. He's in now to White over the wicket. This one's a back of a length delivery, which hits White on the glove and nearly sneaks over the fence. Well, White has pointed to his chest. Here's, we have a look here. No, that's straight off the hands. A bit of gamesmanship there from White. Johnson will continue to White in the 9th over. As in now, this one's a full toss, and White gets this down the ground to get off the mark with a boundary. Johnson over pitches, and White dispatches it. 3 for 24. It'll be Michael Johnson to continue this time around the wicket. As in now, and he serves up another full toss, and again White has put him to the boundary. So back-to-back boundaries for the Blues vice skipper. He moves to 8. Brennan's 11 3 for 28 after 9. So after a rocky start to the morning for the Blues, they're just starting to move along now. 3 for 28 now with an overall lead of 80. As Brennan's 11 skipper will know, it is only they who have successfully chased down a target in excess of 100 to win a test match at the WCG. So wickets are desperately needed for the men in red. It'll be the skipper, Robbie to bowl his 2nd over of the innings. As he's in now to White, he begins with the short delivery, and White pulls this on the leg side, but can't beat Schaefer there at mid-wicket. White has moved along to 8 and is just looking to steady the ship after the Blues' early troubles this morning. The skipper just steadies himself at the top of his mark, as he'll come in over the wicket once again to White, and this one's a full toss, and White doesn't get it away and gets a bottom edge, and luckily this one bounces before the auto wiki. An opportunity lost there for White. Basher to continue to White in the 11th over. He's in there, and this one's a full delivery, and it sails over Nathan Hancock's head and goes all the way for 6. But I think this is 6-leg buys. I don't think White gets any part of this. Yeah, straight off his boot and goes for 6. Amazing. It'll be Jake Kasacha to bowl the 12th over of the innings. He's in now round the wicket to White. It begins with a good length delivery, and White just drops that on the offside and will move through for a single. So White moves along to 9. Brennan's 11, 3 for 36 in their second innings. An overall lead of 88 runs. So they're inching their way up towards that 100-run lead mark. So the Reds are in desperate need of a few wickets here. As Kasacha will continue to White around the wicket. In there, this one's a back of a length delivery, and White gets a bottom edge onto his body. And this one narrowly avoids the auto wiki. So perhaps another opportunity lost there for White, as that one sat up and was begging to be hit. Here is Kasacha, will come in again to White around the wicket in the 12th over. Here he's in now, and this one's a back of length delivery, and White gets an edge, and it's gone through to the keeper. So White's got to go, and that's a big wicket there for the Reds. White has looked back at the auto wiki with a quizzical look. He has this carried. Yeah, but just is enough. Brennan's 11, 4 for 36 in their second innings. As George Pineros comes to the crease at number 5 for the Blues. Made a vital 22 in the first innings for Brennan's 11. Can he repeat the dose in this second dig? So to be Kasacha into Pineros for his first delivery. And this one's a short delivery, and it sails over Pineros' head. It'll be Justin Brooke to bowl his second over of the innings. It's in now round the wicket to Pineros, and it's a full toss. And Pineros hammers that on the offside, but he can't beat Daniel Arnold there at cover. So a good fight back this from the Reds. They can go bang bang here, they'll feel they're right back in the match. As Brooke continues to Pineros, and it's a full toss. And Pineros backed away to give himself some room, but he has a big air swing at it and doesn't make contact. 2 scoring opportunities missed out there from Pineros. Still yet to get off the mark in his second innings. As Brooke will continue to him now. This one's a shorter delivery, but he's off the mark now as he hammers this through cover for a boundary. He just sways back onto his back foot and hammers it. Brooke to continue to Pineros around the wicket. Here he's in now. This one's a full delivery, and George gets the toe end of the bat and will scamper through for a single. So it's an aggressive start to his innings here from Pineros. He's moved along to 5. Brennan's 11, 4 for 43 in their second innings. An overall lead of 95 runs. So after a slow start this morning, you'd have to feel they're in the ascendancy. As Brooke will continue to Pineros once again. And this one's a good length delivery, and Pineros is on the back foot and defends to his opposition skipper there at cover. And with Scott still in the sheds, the alarm bells will be ringing here for the Reds. Here's Brooke will continue again to George Pineros, and this one's a half volley, and Pineros hammers it through the covers for another boundary. This one has too much pepper on it for Arnold to stop. The lead is now 99. Brennan's 11, 4 for 47 as we arrive at the final over before the lunch break. It'll be Michael Johnson bowled to Pineros, and he begins with a full delivery. And as this one caught the edge, well, Robbie's 11 seemed to think so, and now he's gone, and the umpire has given him out. So the Reds do strike again just before the lunch break. Here's Pineros doesn't want to go, but he will go now. This sounded like a clear edge here from Pineros. Yeah, he's absolutely smashed it. 5 for 47. It's been a pretty decent session for the Reds as Alex Stepien makes his way to the crease at number 6 for the Blues. Was in decent form with the bat during the recent Trans-Tasman series for the Aussies. Can he push the Blues lead well beyond that 100 mark? So it'll be Michael Johnson, who's just picked up his second wicket, into Alex Stepien over the wicket for his first delivery. Here he's in now, and this one's a good length delivery, and Alex Stepien is forward, and this one strikes him on the leg. Hands on heads there from Michael Johnson, who nearly snuck through Stepien's defences, but the Stepiconda survives. So it'll be Michael Johnson who will continue to Alex Stepien in the final over before the break. As in now, and this one's a short delivery which sails way over Stepien's head. And remarkably, this hasn't been called a wide. So it's good to see that Stevie Wonder has found a career after music. Here is Johnson will come in for the final ball of the session. As in now, this one's a full delivery, and he gets his away step in for a boundary to end the session for the Blues on a high as he pushes the lead in excess of 100 as the Blues march on. So despite a spirited fight back with the ball this morning from the Reds, it'll be Brennan's 11 who enter the lunch break the happier of the two sides as they finish the session on 5 for 51 with an overall lead of 103 runs. So Robbie's 11 know they're up for another record run chase here at the WCG, but they've still got work to do with Scott still in the sheds. the afternoon session when we return.